In Globe Talk today, we have a conversation with Mr. Rajeev Chandrasekhar, who was till recently the Minister of Technology and Entrepreneurship in the central government. He is no stranger to Kerala and Trivandrum particularly because he was here on a very intense campaign, which was very impressive, and he had a very impressive record in the votes that he secured in that short period of time. He has indicated that even though he will not be representing Trivandrum officially in the next 5 years, he will certainly continue to work here with the intention to bring development into Kerala. So this is something which he is very good at because he is an expert in technology, industry and development in general. So let us talk to him about future plans for Trivandrum and for himself. Welcome, Rajeev ji.
Namaskaram.
The elections are over and the votes that you secured were very impressive. And so it is not considered to be a failure in that sense. And you have also taken it that way and continues to think that you have a role to play here. What shape will it take? How much time will you be able to spend in Trivandrum? How much will you be able to involve yourself in the development of Kerala? What will be the mechanism of it?
3.5 lakh people of Tiruvandhuram, when they warmly welcome you after having just met them for 35, 37 days, I certainly don't consider that a failure. I consider that an honor, privilege and a blessing. I have no intention of walking away from that affection. I have certainly made it very clear. I see politics as public service. I got into it in 2006, many years ago, as an extension of my desire to serve the country and the people. And that is very deeply embedded in my DNA. Winning and losing an election is not so material in terms of my desire to continue to serve the people of Tiruvandhuram. And in a lot of ways, that is catalyzed and doubled and energized by the fact that, like I said, in such a short period of time, 3.5 lakh people of this beautiful city decided to give me affection, support me and embrace me. And I have a very clear vision, for want of a better word, of what Tiruvandhuram has lagged and lacked for many years and decades.
That is very clear in your vision statement.
Yes, so I will work very hard. I have had a reasonably good track record of delivering on what I promise. And I will continue to work hard, albeit in a slightly different role. Earlier I used to be an MP, I used to be a minister. Now I will be a public servant serving the people of Tiruvandhuram, working closely with the Narendra Modi ji government.
Yesterday, Princess Lakshmi Bai talked about you as an honorary MP of Trivandrum.
These are things that make me very emotional because, like I said, just by after 37, 40 days of having campaigned here, if people can shower me with those kind of honors and those kind of that kind of love, the truth of what I said before the elections is this true and holds good today, which is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has an absolutely clear vision for development of all our states, including Kerala and including our proud Anantapuri Tiruvandhuram district.
So in this context, let me congratulate you on the award that you received yesterday.
Yes.
In the name of Sri Jitiratirna.
The love and affection shown to me during the campaign wasn't enough. This honor, in a sense, redoubles my own motivation to continue to serve and will continue to serve not just today, but on an ongoing basis, the people of Tiruvandhuram. And this is not a small honor for me. I have got many awards in the past. I have been recognized in many different forums. But to be given an award that bears the name of such a legendary,
you would like to continue.
Yes, whose legendary contributions to this great district
to
and
the
this
modern
exactly.
Yes.
So that is certainly inspiring to me, and it energizes me. It's like a battery to energize my own effort.
Looking at technology in Kerala, you must have made an assessment as
Yes.
to why we have not done as well as we should. Can you identify certain issues which you have noticed?
And I want to be blunt, Ambassador. I think the Kerala economic model is broken. I'm talking about the basic approach from the political leadership for decades that has inherently discouraged entrepreneurship, has discouraged investments. And when you discourage entrepreneurship and investment, you essentially don't allow jobs to be created. You don't allow youngsters to dream of succeeding in Kerala. Despite all of that, having a vision, having talented people, talented youth, talented bureaucrats, the political leadership over the last 65 years has let this state down repeatedly. Today's world, you cannot walk a certain talk, which is a total contradiction to what the reality of a growing investment-led economy requires. You need politicians and you need governments and you need leadership that enable investments, not come in the way of it. Kerala, rightfully or wrongfully, has developed, unfortunately, and this is great, it pains me to say this, has gained a reputation globally of an anti-investment environment. In today's globally competitive economies where countries are competing for investment, and in today's world where states are competing for investment, one mistake you make is enough for the investment to go to another state.
Sure.
Real
examples recently.
Correct. So this is not one mistake. This is not just a mistake. This is a ideological contradiction to what is required to have an investment-led economy where jobs can be created, factories can be built, skills and talented people can be gainfully employed. That's the main objective. If you don't make that your main primary political objective, and you make your objective either Karl Marx's Das Kapital, or you make your objective, corruption and, crony capitalism.
For example, Naidu's government was very successful in technology. Is it because they did not have that kind of obsession with workers' rights? And
No. I don't think this is about workers' rights as much as playing politics
in order to get votes.
Exactly. If you are clear that there is a better way of doing politics to gain votes, which is by giving jobs, by creating investments, if you don't wake up and move to that new world order, and you continue to be living in this utopia that Karl Marx left in 1918 or whenever he wrote that book, that there is some utopia where the poor will get poorer and the rich will be made poor.
And the state will wither away.
Yeah, and the state will wither away. That, China and USSR have given up on it. So we have to move forward into not a free market, winner takes all type of model like the USA, but what we are doing in India, which is a judicious mix of welfare state as well as a booming economy that helps creating the revenues to fund the welfare state. So it is very important that you create a local economy, local jobs, local employment, local entrepreneurship.
With development without an ideology which...
Development should be the ideology. People's progress should be the ideology. Changing people's lives and making families successful, look after their families, look after their children, pay for their future. That should be the ideology. What is wrong? And that is our political ideology. When our Prime Minister says, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, he doesn't say Sabka Saath, Sabka Strike. He doesn't say Sabka Saath, Sabka Corruption.
Is there anything that inhibits growth of technology in Kerala, even though our young people are very well educated? One thing is, of course, they all want to go abroad. Is that a problem? Secondly, is there something in the technology itself which is still not upgraded or updated?
I see the going abroad as a symptom of a problem rather than the problem. This is a mistake to think that going abroad is an aspiration for a young person.
Because education and employment is not matching.
Exactly. So therefore, people want to move outside the state to seek a better future. Successful, they also want to be successful. So therefore, if you find that there is no opportunity in Kerala, but if you ask me to the second part of your question, Kerala limit opportunities. I told you about politics. The second is, I will very respectfully, without being disrespectful to the academics and educationists, that Kerala's education system, this Kerala model, contemporary investments in labs, technology that create contemporary skilled and employable students.
The investment in education is so low. We say that even though the education investment is so low, but our grades are like European model. But that is a false notion.
A student who simply comes out of an engineering college or does a diploma or does a BCA is not enough.
Right.
He or she must have these skills. And skills in a ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെൻ്റ് ആണ് ലാബ്സും ആ ടെക്നോളജി പഠിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു സെറ്റപ്പ്. അതെല്ലാം കോളേജിൽ ഇഫ് യു ഡോണ്ട് ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ് ഇൻ കോളേജസ് ആൻഡ് മേക്ക് ഷുവർ കോളേജസ് ഹാവ് ദാറ്റ്, വാട്ട് ഈസ് റിയലി ദാറ്റ് സർക്കിൾ, that loop that needs to be complete for children to be successful in this new age. They need good colleges and good labs. Colleges and good labs require investments by corporates and partners who are willing to invest there and hire them. And third, you need a safe and secure environment where these corporates make the investments in Kerala. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിൽ മൂന്നെണ്ണം നടക്കണം. So investment varanam, corporate varanam, adine oru political atmosphere should be created. Those corporates should invest then in the academic institutions.
That tradition we don't have. You go to any university in the West, you will find companies.
But it is happening. Why best? It is happening in India.
They should prescribe the kind of graduates they want,
yes,
and invest in it and get them.
So therefore the issue today is not education, it is employable education.
Yes. That's why I said about the gap.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore if you don't have good, strong partnerships between corporates, entrepreneurs who are actually creating jobs or seeking skilled talent, and the academic institutions that are creating the talent, this partnership illengil, you will not get what is called employable talent. And in Kerala, the irony is we have so many talented youngsters, but because of this ideological problem with some of the political parties that have been government, you don't allow corporates to come in. Why is it that today 37-40% of undergraduate seats in Kerala colleges are vacant? There is a reason for it. Not that there are no youngsters. അവർ പറഞ്ഞു ഇവിടുത്തെ കോളേജിൽ പഠിച്ചാൽ എനിക്ക് ആ സ്കില്ല് കിട്ടുന്നില്ല. ഐ എം നോട്ട് ഗെറ്റിംഗ് ദോസ് കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് സ്കിൽസ് ദാറ്റ് an Infosys wants or a TCS wants or these multinationals
semiconductor companies. But the industries, it suits them because they don't have to invest in education at all. They come and the so-called recruitment,
No, so therefore that is the other point.
They pick up your best students and go away.
Yeah, so therefore that is the point on tech, which is that tech today, there is a ITES layer, and there is much more complex areas which is called the technology and innovation ecosystem. And it is no longer just about ITES, it is no longer just about BPOs, the opportunities that are being created today. There is a concept called GCC, Global Capability Centers. Right. And there is something called our Global R&D Center. There is not one global technology company in the world today that does not have a GCC in India or that does not have a global R&D center in India. Other high-end work, the youngsters have to be trained, skilled, have exposure to labs, have exposure to capabilities, artificial intelligence, robotics, all kinds of different types of programming, coding at the highest levels of designing systems and semiconductors. There are so many different opportunities. Our youngsters must be given an opportunity to grow as this ecosystem grows. Unfortunately, that is not happening. Like I said, for that, there is a partnership between academic institutions, labs, and an industry that is very, very essential. And that is one of the things that I had said in my manifesto, that I want to do something called the Trivandrum Research and Innovation Cluster, right, TRIC, built around these 4 or 5 central government institutions that are today in Tirunelveli, and bringing corporates and bringing students and academic institutions into that cluster, and then creating research and innovation and entrepreneurship.
No, in fact, there are several research institutions in the state, but they don't even coordinate. And they work on their own.
അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ ഈ തിരുവനന്തപുരം റിസർച്ച് ആൻഡ് ഇന്നോവേഷൻ ക്ലസ്റ്ററിന്റെ ഐഡിയ.
No, you just have to bring this institution together. Correct. And make it a
and have a comprehensive strategic roadmap. Yes. On what will come out of the cluster.
A university, a research university we could have.
That is one of the areas that I am working with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government, which is that we want to do this. We want to have the national governments, the state institutions and academic other colleges work together and bring some industry, including public sector industry, ISRO, for example, as a public sector industry, defense companies into the mix, other public sector companies into the mix, and private companies into the mix, and say, let us create in Tiruvandhuram a next generation research and innovation capability.
Such a system, when it comes and the technology is rapidly moving, how will you fill that gap? Because by the time you get good at semiconductors, then there is artificial intelligence.
That is the nature of technology. There is nothing permanent.
But you have to cope with it.
That is what you need. Nimble, this corporate academic partnerships that basically make sure today's batch of students are skilled in what is required tomorrow.
Exactly. No, your own experience of BPL, why did you leave it? Why didn't you develop it further here?
No, I did 12 years in mobile. I built the first Indian mobile network, Kerala's first mobile network I built. But it was a time when there was a lot of conflicts and regulatory uncertainty. I fought all of them and came out successful at the end of it. And I realized at that point how when a young entrepreneur starts to set out and build something, there are many, many big companies that try and gun for you.
Either they adopt you or destroy you.
No, they don't adopt. They essentially those
but
days.
Don't they offer all these advantages?
What those days it used to be, they would gun for you and say, I'll make you collapse and then I'll buy you out.
Right.
I had no practice. But I fought. I was a little bit those days younger and a much more hot-blooded person, so I fought all of them. And
But eventually you left it.
And I succeeded, built the company, and then I sold it off saying that, look, I have done in 10 years what people take 50 years to sometime experience and achieve. And I said, I've done what I had to do. And Jan Vittappo, the UPA government had just been informed. Somebody asked me and I said, the challenges left now are to lobby for free spectrum or do some gadbad in Delhi.
Then they got into all the bad spectrum.
And I said, I have neither the talent nor the capability for it. I said it openly.
Yes.
And I knew, I got a sense with the cast of characters that the UPA was putting as telecom ministers that it would be a mess. And
So was it out of frustration that you left the country?
No. I didn't leave out of frustration. It was $1 billion, the first unicorn in the country. I was very successful. Everybody knew that I had done it. This despite
but if you had not come back, you would have been head of a major.
Oh, you mean in the US?
Yeah, right.
No. These things have come to me as a fork in the path. And I have chosen it without really knowing why I am choosing it. But I have, God has been kind. I have been successful. I was 6 years in the US as a design engineer and a CPU architect at Intel. And then suddenly I came here. Rajesh Pilot, who was my father's student and was a telecom minister those days, said, why don't you stay behind and help build the cellular sector? And I had some...
The Sampitroda model.
Yeah. So I stayed and I tried it and it succeeded. And then similarly in 2005 when I quit, sold off telecom, somebody said, why don't you try politics? And I got this opportunity. I thought I'll be a one-term MP. And I thought I did very well in my first term. So I continued that. So these forks in the path come in life and...
So now there's a fork towards Kerala, which
exactly. So the fork is... No, I was in Kerala before as well. I think there's a focus in Kerala politics. And that path has come again, not because I planned it. My Prime Minister offered this to me and I'm here now and I will continue to be here.
And about for artificial intelligence, there are two views. One is that it's going to destroy the world. Not only Hitlers and Mussolinis will have greater killing power, but also the whole concept might destroy human creativity, etc. So what is your take on that?
One of the basic tenets of technology is that it will be disruptive.
Even the steam engine was disruptive.
Yeah, so some years, there's a cycle of disruption that will emerge that will make everything pass irrelevant and create a new paradigm. Those cycles are becoming shorter.
Yes.
Between the steam engine
earlier
and the
maybe
next...
one life, 30 years, 40 years at least.
Now it is becoming every 3, 4, 5 years, there's a new innovation. So disruption is the normal today in our lives. More so in technology, there will always be these disruptions and there will always be a group of people who say, oh my God. When the PC came in here, I remember the left people came out and said, jobs will go, jobs will go, jobs will go. It's the same argument that are being proposed by some people about AI, but I will respectfully disagree. What AI will do is make us more efficient. In many, many areas today that is taking way too long, for example, medicine discovery. I will predict that with AI, cancer, medical discovery, all these medicine and health issues that we have been grappling with for decades will get into shorter and shorter windows. But with everything technology, as it was with social media, we are discovering the problems today. And with AI, there should be guardrails. And we have argued, the Prime Minister, me, when I was a minister, said that we should embrace technology, we should embrace the positives of technology, but identify the negatives and create guardrails and no-go areas either legislatively or through a set of rules.
But do you think that is possible?
It
will
is
not
possible.
go out of control.
No, there will always be people who try and push the boundaries. There will always be people who try and misuse technology, as you are seeing it on the internet with social media. Nobody thought about this 10 years ago, that this would ever come to pass where entire governments are getting worried about the misinformation on social media. So I think people have learned from that. We have long argued that every technology must be safe and trusted. We must think of the people who are using this and consuming this for their benefit, so that the technology is always safe and trusted and can never be misused against people. So our framework is, our government of India, which now most countries are adopting, is innovation is good, technology is good, change is good, disruption is good, but always have some guardrails.
That is where the relevance of someone who is good in technology to be in politics, for example. Suppose you see it differently from others. They say development, strikes. And that is what has kept us low. So that ecosystem has to be developed. That's various angles to it.
We are moving away from an era of general knowledge to much more domain-specific, deep knowledge, granular knowledge about things. So 10 years ago, people could wing it about technology, make some random statement and be passed off as an expert. Today, you can't, because a 20-year-old or an 18-year-old today knows more about technology than anybody with any grey hair will know. I always used to say when I was in government to all the bureaucrats, don't patronize youngsters and say that we will mentor you. Actually, between 4 18-year-olds, they will know more about technology than all of the 50-year-olds in government or in industry. So the center of gravity is moving increasingly towards the younger and younger generations. That is why it is important that we stay ahead of what I call harms by creating legal guardrails. You can use AI, you can use social media, you can use all of these cutting-edge technologies for whatever innovation you want, but don't cause harm to anybody else. When I was minister, we had a very big conference in UK called the AI Safety Summit. And I'm happy to say that our views, India's views, was echoed by about 29 countries around the world about AI and the approach to AI. And then we had in December of 2023, the Prime Minister inaugurated the GPay, the Global Program for Artificial Intelligence, which India is chairing this year. And every country said, no, India should take the lead in prescribing this global protocol on how to make sure we capture the good of technology and AI, but prevent the harm and the misuse.
So our real test is whether we'll be able to make use of all your talents here, or you'll be taken away by somebody else.
No. I came here not really to impress anybody with my technology skills or anything. I came here and I am here to serve the people. And some of the issues have nothing to do with technology. People who don't have homes, people don't have homes, but they don't have water. People who are living.
That's another level.
Yeah, that is. So there are some basic living issues of a lot of people that I must address.
You have been talking about a 100-day program. You are looking forward to that.
It's not so much for the public as much as for myself. Giving myself a discipline that next 100 days I must do this, and then the next 100 days do this, so that people know that my commitment to public service is real and not just a phrase or not just a statement. I will certainly work hard, like I said, to repay the trust that people have given me.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Rajeev ji.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.